guys, my name is Emily. Welcome to Junk Journal Inspirations. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope that you enjoy what you're seeing on my channel. Okay, so we are on the next part of the altered tin tutorial. I'm calling this part 3 because I kind of did a flip through of the one I made for my grandma. And I called that part 1 because this is all like one big design team project for Tracie Fox. And I don't want it to be confusing, but I also, I wasn't sure. So anyway, this is the second tutorial. You can find all of these videos. I will actually put them in a playlist for altered tin videos, so that'll be helpful, but I'll put that playlist at the end of this video so you can just click on it and then go watch any that you missed. Today, let me get myself organized. So in the first tutorial, we rusted the tin. So I used Folk Art Rust Effect paint. There were 2 colors, light and dark. And then I went over it with patina green wax. So that is all dry now. I will say that this does, it has like little flakes and bits, just like real rust. So, and sometimes those flake off. So don't be surprised. You could spray the whole thing with like a sealer, but I'm not going to do that. I could, but I sometimes don't like the way that feels. And I don't know. I'm just going to leave it be. So we're going to continue working on the tin today. And hopefully we'll get it mostly done or all the way done. I'm not sure. There will be some dry time involved, so it may not all get done today, but you know, we'll just see what happens. So I have my tin. I cut 2 pieces of fabric, and I'll actually need 3, but I cut 2. It doesn't matter. And these will go inside in here and up in the top, and then I'll cut another one to go here, and obviously we'll trim it, but I cut it a little big. So I think my tin is, let me remember the measurements here. 3 3/4 by 2 1/4, and then obviously the inside measurements are a bit different than that, but I tore my fabric at 5 inches by about 3 1/2-ish. And like I said, that will be too much and we'll have to trim that, but I have that. I printed out some freebies from Tracie. And these were freebies for her Facebook group. So if you're not already a member of Tracie's Facebook group, the Foxy Crafters, I highly suggest you go over there and become a member, because she does challenges every month and she gives something away, usually a digital kit from her shop, but she also gives out freebies. So I thought these might be perfect as sort of our background papers. I was going to use book images and then I changed my mind. So you see in here I have, these were book images for the bird tin. So, but I couldn't find any that were like the right size and it just wasn't working. So I remembered I had these and I think those will be perfect. I also have some distress collage medium. I have the large flatback pearls that I'm going to use as the feet on the bottom. I have our little metal piece that I painted the same way I did the tin. That's a Tim Holtz piece. And then this is a quote chip. I think that's what they're called, by Tim Holtz. I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a second. And then I just have some cardboard that I'm using to kind of, you'll see. You'll see. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. And I have a paintbrush and a ruler and my equivalent to E6000. It's Sure. This is the Sure Bonder brand. Yeah, okay, so let's get started. I'm going to set this aside for a second because I'm not sure if we'll get to the paper yet in this video. I don't want to make it like ridiculously long. The first thing I did was I decided, because this piece here is going to sit here like this, those little nubby pieces that help hold the tin closed, they're going to keep this from laying flat on the metal. I don't know if you can kind of see, it just kind of leaves some space there. So what I did was I measured this part because it was the biggest flat surface. And I just used a circle punch that was a little less than 3/4 of an inch. Yes, sadly, I have a punch that does that. I think it's 11/16. Whoops. And I went ahead and punched it out because I knew that it was going to be difficult. I managed to do it though. So yeah, I'm not sure if that punch will ever function properly again, but I got it to work. So I'm going to distress that, you know, I'll add some wax to it. So in case you see it, it won't even really show. And then for this piece that sits on the back, this is the piece that's going to hold our tin in a 90-degree angle. So again, I think, yeah, I need it to sit, it's like, see where the hinges are in there? I need this to sit out a little bit from that so that it can touch the top and the bottom piece. So what I did was I laid this on my cardboard, and then I don't want it to show. So I just scooched it down a little bit, and then I traced around it with not a paintbrush, but with my pencil. And then I'm just going to cut that out, and I'm going to cut inside the sidelines because I really don't want it to show. I made that mistake on this one. The cardboard hung out the bottom, and I had to put these pearls on there to hide it, which is fine, but I'm going to just do it better this time. All right, let me get my longer scissors here, and we'll just cut this off. So I hope you're all having a good day. The sun is trying to come out here, but it's cold, and I don't understand why. It's supposed to be spring. Okay, now this, I might need more than one piece of this cardboard because it is a little bit thin, but let's see here. So will that work? No, I'm gonna have to double that up. So we need another piece, the same size. So we'll just cut another one. Doesn't have to be 100% accurate because it's not going to show at all. So let's get that cut out. All right, so there's a lot, like I said before, there's a lot of dry time that has to happen, but we'll do the best we can here. Let's see if that's going to be, that is just really, you know what, let me grab a thicker piece of cardboard. Okay, this is much better. Let's do that instead, because that's just, that thin piece is just not going to work for me. So again, I'm just going to lay it on the edge, as you know, that'll be my edge, but I'm going to shift it down just slightly, maybe a little more. Okay, do you see it's just shifted down a little bit? And then we'll do this again for the third time. I like doing like a prototype and then, you know, learning from my mistakes the first time around. It's helpful. All right. My hands don't like this at all. Give me just a second. I'm gonna use a craft knife and cut this, but I'm gonna just step away for a second, so I'll be right back. Okay, I think that's gonna work just fine. So what we're gonna do is that will sit right there. Okay, so it's just gonna sit right up against let me get it at a 90-degree angle here. It's going to sit right up against the hinges, and I'll glue it down. And then this piece will sit on top of that, and I'll be able to glue that to the cardboard piece and this bottom ledge here. And that will keep this from opening or closing. I hope that makes sense. And then, yeah, so let's go ahead and do that because that uses this glue and it's gonna need to dry, I think. I don't know what I wanna do first. Well, yeah, if I do that, it's gonna be more difficult to put the fabric in. So let's do the fabric first. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out as we go. Okay, so I used collage medium for this. I did learn the hard way because I'd never actually used this with fabric before. And I learned sort of the hard way that you want a really thin coat. So I'm just gonna ignore the fact that there's rust bits in here. I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference. But you don't want like a bunch of globby pieces because it will show through. It'll show through your fabric. Now, a lot of the fabric isn't even going to be showing, so it's not, you know, it's not that big of a deal. But my OCD made it a big deal for me when I did it on the other one. So, and you know, the biggest issue is the sides because I'm going to cover up most of this inside with images and such. So yeah, you're really just not going to see a lot of it, but try to keep it, you know, a nice thin coat. And yeah, that's about that. Let's see. So we're going to do this on the inside, top and bottom. So the puppers are getting groomed today. And of course, it's going to rain tomorrow, you know. It's kind of like when you wash your car and then it just immediately rains, right? Ugh, it's frustrating. Our yard is such a mess from all the rain we've had this year. We've had to lay down layers of hay, actually, straw, all over our yard because the dogs were just a mess all the time. All right, that is probably good. I'm just checking for big gloppy pieces. I think we're good. Okay, so we are gonna just lay our fabric in here gently. Make sure you have a good amount overlapping, you know, all the sides before you start smushing it in there. And I think I worried a little more about, you know, like smushing it into the corners because for some reason when I made the first one, I had this idea that it was going to close. But then once you put all this fabric in here, there's no way that it can possibly, you know, possibly close. So, whoops. All right. I am just pressing that into all the cracks and crevices as best I can. And then we will let that dry. And I think I did a pretty good job of not getting glops and big glue, you know, pieces. So it seems to be okay. All right, and then we'll let that dry. We'll go ahead and do the bottom. So make sure, yeah, that'll still open. Okay. Or, yeah, you know what I mean. And then you can come back, like if anything is not, we'll come back and look at it if, you know, if we think it's not glued down well, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, all right, let's do the bottom. I won't make you watch me, you know, paint the distress medium on again. So I'll go ahead and do this and then I'll come back. Okay, so I have all my collage medium in there, and we're just gonna do the same thing. So again, just make sure that you have enough on all sides, and then just sort of stuff it in there. Sorry about my lighting. It was sort of overcast when I started, and now the sun is just blazing, which is, I'm totally happy with that, but it was coming in my window a little too much, so I had to close my blinds. And you can, you know, be neater about it than I am. I want it to look sort of old and rugged, but you could, you know, obviously like pleat these corners a little nicer if you wanted to. Doesn't bother me. I like the kind of messy look of it, so I don't mind. All right, and again, we will let that dry and then trim it up. Okay. All right, and I need to grab another piece of fabric. Let me, for the back side. Let's see here. This should be fine. Let's just make sure. All right. All right, so this piece will go on here, and I know it's way too big. Let's see if I can, no, I know how to do it flat. I did it a little differently on the other one. So let me sort of get this to a better size. Okay, and then just do here, and then we can trim it. It's not a big deal. Okay, so this is gonna go here. I'd rather have to trim around the sides and the top more than this bottom section, so I'm just gonna make sure that I set it on there properly for how I want it to be. So yeah, again, I'm just gonna apply this thinly, but this whole thing will be covered by paper or something. So you're not gonna see, you're not really gonna see it. It's just there as sort of another layer of texture and interest. It'll be just sort of peeking out. My guess is you could just go over this whole thing with the collage medium. That would be a good sealer for it as well. I'm not sure if I'll do that or not. We'll see. Okay. And then, like I said, I'm gonna line up the bottom. Like that. And then we can just trim off this piece, no problem. Let's see if I can. And then I should be able to fringe this up a little bit by hand. Whoops. Don't. I'll wait. I will wait till it's dry because I said that, but now I'm still pulling on it. I'm like a child. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead because I don't want to wait to move ahead. I'm going to go ahead and trim some of this off of here. So mostly because this won't sit right, so that I can glue the back piece on. So I'll just cut it now. That'll be fine. All right, so I trimmed that, you know, just very, very roughly. I didn't try very hard. That way we can go ahead and get our back piece glued on. So what I want to do, where's my other bead? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we'll do this all at one time. So we can add the feet and add our little hinge stopper. I'm going to call it that. So let's ink this up so it's not so obvious. You won't really see it, but just in case it shows. And then I'm also going to ink this piece. Am I going to ink it? Let me grab a marker real quick. I'm going to use one of these alcohol markers because it doesn't come off of the shiny surfaces. I'm just going to go over mostly the cardboard part. I'm not sure why, because it's really not going to show. But I just have issues with stuff that looks too new. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that just kind of takes away from that a bit. And then I'm going to add some of the patina wax to this piece as well, just so it, you know, kind of blends in with the rest of the piece. And I'm not doing it in any sort of neat fashion or anything, just getting it on there, basically. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna attach the cardboard piece first. That way I know that, you know, it's gonna be in the right spot. And then we'll attach this piece to that. So I'm going to use the 9001. And get a nice good coat of that on there. Like so. And then just want to line it up so that it's sort of centered with the hinges. and make sure that it butts right up to the lid, the little lip on the lid. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to add the glue to the cardboard for this part. And then I'm going to add a bead of the glue to this top part, because that is going to glue to the lid. But I'm going to sit this down first. All right, so you want to hold it. I just sort of hold it at a 90-degree angle, and then just make sure that everything is, you know, touching. Okay, if you can find something that will allow it, like you can lay it down on the tin and it'll allow it to hang at that angle that you want. That way when the glue dries, it'll be exactly how you want it to be. I hope that makes sense. So we're just gonna let that dry, and then we can put our feet on, and then that'll probably be the end of this video, because this is all gonna have to dry for a while, overnight, definitely. So, all right, just kind of figure out where you want these. It's not terribly critical, but just, you know, have them where you want them. Let me see if I can, well, yeah, it'll be fine. Okay, so we're just gonna use this stuff again. And then just make sure that you have it, you know, in the general area that you want. I would not recommend hot glue for this. I find hot glue to not be the best permanent option. For some things, it works great for certain things, and then other things I feel like it's not very practical, but I want the stuff that I make to last, you know, as long as possible. So I try really hard to use glues that will stand the test of time, at least to some degree. I mean, I can't, you know, can't guarantee forever, but I'm just making sure those are sort of lined up properly, at least as close as I can get it without being too perfectionistic. There we go. And that looks pretty darn great. Okay, so I am just gonna let this sit, and I'm gonna make sure that it stays in this position. I might try and find something to kind of tuck up against it, but I think it's gonna be fine. Again, it's not, you know, if it's not 100% at a 90-degree angle, nobody's even gonna notice. I mean, nobody's gonna measure, so I think it'll be fine. And then, okay, so in the next video, we will continue. I'm not sure. I think we'll just continue with the tin until the tin is done, and then we'll move on to the journal. So probably 2 or 3 more videos would be my guess, just because I don't want them to be terribly long, but I'll try to get those out, maybe one on Saturday, hopefully, and then one on Monday, and then we'll see where we are from there. So, but you can always, you know, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. It's pretty accurate. I have noticed that a lot of the people that I have hit the bell for, I won't get notified right away. But you know, it does a pretty good job. So do that, and then you won't miss anything. And you can also follow me on social media, Facebook and Instagram, that's what it's called. Pinterest. I'm actually contemplating getting on TikTok. I haven't 100% decided if I want to take that leap, but I'm thinking about it. So we'll see. I'm too old for all this social media, I think. And so I feel really weird about getting on these, you know, young people sites. But for now, Facebook and Instagram are probably your best bet for seeing things that I post. Okay, I think that's it. I'm gonna stop rambling now. All right, so yeah, I'll be back in a couple days. And also don't forget, we're still in the middle of the Simply Random Ephemera Challenge, and there will be a ginormous giveaway at the end of that. So if you don't have to participate to be in the giveaway, but you do have to watch my process videos and comment on all of them, because I will pick one at random to choose the winner from. So you can find that playlist on my channel, and there's a lot of other people's videos in there as well. I would love for you to comment on everyone's videos, but that is not necessary for the giveaway. As long as you comment on mine, then you'll be all set. All right, guys, I hope you have a fabulous day. Take care of yourselves, stay healthy, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.